Hello everyone, welcome back to the show. We had the opportunity to sit down with Eve Annenberg, director of the film Romeo and Juliet in Yiddish. This is a fantastic movie which brings Yiddish back to the big screen. Annenberg creates a parallel universe, aka Williamsburg, Brooklyn, where Romeo and Juliet stem from divergent streams of ultra-orthodox Judaism and speak their lines in street-smart Yiddish. The bard may have never dreamed of the monologues of Satmar Jews, but Annenberg's fanciful direction makes a story of feuding Orthodox families both poignant and timeless. Let's take a closer look.
Yiddish? The world's most irrelevant language? The dictionary for Yiddish is 8 volumes long.
Lisa, do you ever dream? Kabbalitis. I studied too much Kabbalah, and now I'm leaking. Magic. I'm a little worried about it. These worlds intersect with each other. I can make them intersect.
There's a very real possibility that she's already married and starting a family of her own.
You want to negotiate Shakespeare?
You looking for my mother?
How about a popular language like Dutch?
Whenever you're developing a film, it's sometimes difficult to bring your story to the forefront. You've done a fantastic job and really bring Shakespeare and Jewishness together. What made you make this movie?
Well, I happened to be in a place where I heard young people speaking Yiddish as a native language, 20, 21. I'd never heard people that age speaking Yiddish as a first language, only people who were 80, 70, and I found it incredibly exciting on just a gut level. And I also began to see certain qualities about the ultra-orthodox crowd that I had never noticed before. Kind of a beauty and a warmth and a musicality, and I began to want to showcase those qualities. So I thought about Romeo and Juliet, because Shakespeare seemed to be, that time period, they were not dressing in a dissimilar fashion to the style of some of the ultra-orthodox now. So it began to come together in my head as a venue to show off this, the beauty of certain aspects of the culture, and also to do it in Yiddish, because it had never been done on film in Yiddish before. In fact, nothing's been done on film mostly in Yiddish for about 70 years. So that seemed like a fun challenge and a fun thing to share with people who don't otherwise get to hear it. People like me whose parents and grandparents spoke Yiddish but are not in the ultra-orthodox, so we get to hear that every day. And it's very invigorating.
Stories are transformational, and everyone takes away something different from a movie. What are you looking for audiences to take away?
Audiences to take away a couple of things. One of which is that it would be great if the secular people, very secular people, and ultra-orthodox people communicated more. We are, after all, a similar culture. And I'd like to see us be closer together, or at least have forums of opinion exchange. And it's great to start that with art, of course. I think it's great that people who were never exposed to Shakespeare and didn't know the story of Romeo and Juliet or how it ended now are familiar with that. And the sound of spoken Yiddish colloquially is exhilarating. And I think people do come to the theater and they leave with a little bit of euphoria. It's something on a primal level, at least I know it is for me. But I see it in the audience as well, that they come in and it's just a thrill.
Kabbalah plays a strong presence in your movie. How did you decide to integrate Kabbalah into the plot?
Well, I love magic. I love magic in movies. I love fairy dust. I love tap dancing and, just fancy and whimsy. And I needed a device to bring people between worlds. And Kabbalah, it has a lot in it, I believe, operating on different planes. So I got myself a book on Kabbalah and I read it and I started to put some of the concepts into the script in my own way. I'm not a Kabbalah scholar by any stretch of the imagination.
As you were filming this incredible film, did anything surprise you?
Something that surprised me was the musicality of the actors. These are people who have never acted before, about 80% of them, and could sing their lines if I asked them to. There's a tremendous amount of music in the ultra-orthodox culture, and dancing, and spontaneity, and it was a pleasure to be able to work with people who weren't shy to use those skills and just didn't think twice about them. Also, the idea that although some of my actors weren't familiar with the whole process of movie making or acting at all, no drama club in Yeshiva High, they would come to the set, once or twice people would come to the set and say, I was supposed to memorize those lines? And this is, an hour before the shoot. And I'd say yes. And an hour later, Shakespearean monologues memorized, inhaled. The tremendous memories that people who grow up studying huge amounts of Torah have. It's just unbelievable to a secular person. And I did a lot of homework in high school, but I didn't memorize 400-page books. That part was really fun.
In the movie, there's a provocative scene utilizing the song Avinu Malkeinu. How did you decide to put this in the film?
Well, in Romeo and Juliet, there's not a love scene, there's a wake-up scene. And I extrapolated that a little bit. And so it's a little bit of a love scene. It's very, very beautiful. And yes, I scored it with Avinu Malkeinu. And some people found that a little provocative. But to some Jews, that's the only song that they know and love in the Jewish liturgy. It brings you immediately into your personal relationship with the divine. If you go to temple on Yom Kippur, which so many of us, that's when we go. So because I'm such a junkie for the music, I ran the song under there, I took it out. It's so exquisite, and love is beautiful, love is divine. It seems to fit. I'm open to changing it, but I haven't found something that says beautiful and holy quite the way that song says it. And that's how many people feel about love. So if that's our provocative point, I can live with it. And you should come to the movie and judge for yourself.
Romeo and Juliet in Yiddish is truly a fantastic film. It's 89 minutes full of love, jokes, and pure enjoyment. This is Aaron Herman, and thanks for watching.